That's my last name.
Hey
Just
there,
skip that.
everyone. Welcome to today's expert interview. We have Kevin here from Social Happiness, and he's going to be talking about his six-figure agency journey, how he was able to grow his agency from, doing his side business and actually grow it within a few months. So, welcome, Kevin, to the show. So happy to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here as well. I'm excited to
Awesome.
share.
All your secrets. So before we get started, I just wanted to know a little bit about your backstory, what you were doing before you started your agency.
Yep, cool. So yeah, everybody, my name is Kevin. I started my agency 2 years ago in February, actually. Yeah, when I started out, I was working in restaurants and bars. I've always done that all my life. So when I started up my agency, it really started for fun, actually. I started to work for the local bar. I moved from Holland to Gran Canaria, one of the Canarian Islands, because I was super depressed in Holland. So I just decided to move away to a better place. And when I arrived here, I was working bars and restaurants. And then at one point, there was this bar that was not doing anything on social media. So I actually started to do it for free. Back then, I was like doing like complete social media managing. So I was just posting, review answering, and all of that. Up until I think about 3-4 months later of doing it for free and working at the same time in the bar, I was like, okay, I have to get paid for this without really an intention of starting a business. So I was just like, okay, give me €100 a month. It's about $100 a month, right? And yeah, sooner or later, like he really liked it, and then he started to speak to other people about me. I started to go around town, and at one point I just felt like, okay, there's quite some ask for it. Like a lot of people really liked what I was doing for that place, so they were like, hey, can you do this for me? So I signed up another client for 150, and so I went to about €600 a month, but still working in that same bar and doing this at the side. So I remember then that we went traveling to Asia. We went to Indonesia and to travel around. And there was one day where all the money came in that I was earning. And yeah, as I was a typical worker before that, so I've never experienced earning money while I was on holiday, right? Unless it was holiday money. But while I was there, I was like to my girlfriend, like, hey, it's amazing. We just earned €600 while we were here on the beach. And it's insane. And I had to do a little bit of work off my laptop, of course, but most of it was planned out. So then I said to myself, like, okay, on the moment I come back on the island and I'm going back to work, I'm going to quit as soon as possible and I'm going to make something out of this, because I think that, there's a really big possibility. So what actually happened was that I was working in this bar, and the owner of the place, who was nearly never there, came up to me and he was like, hey, new guy, while I was working there for like 4 years, right? And it just broke my ego so much that I was like, fuck this. I'm sorry for swearing.
No worries.
I'm getting out of here. So I was like, okay, I quit. So I walked up, I took my bag, and I was like, this is done. And so then I was like basically without money, but my girlfriend was supporting me. I had the €600, not so much money. But then I just went all in on it. That's basically how I got started.
And you mentioned that you were already in the restaurant business. Did you ever get the sense of branching out? Because I know a lot of agency owners feel like they could take on all these different niches and really grow their agency that way. I feel like your approach was just focusing on the one niche that you're already familiar with. So talk about that kind of journey and how you blocked off all the other shiny objects that come across.
Yeah, 100%. It's such a good question because it's so difficult as well. Of course, I chose restaurants purely because I was in it. I was living it. I was working in restaurants. I had a lot of experience. So that's the reason I chose for it. But what happened at one point when we started to get more and more clients, I really felt like, okay, restaurant is really something that I need to master. And there were times that I got approached by a dentist and I got approached by a gym. And they were really ready to pay more money, actually. But in that time, I was following a course of Joe Soto. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he spoke about like this one niche as well the whole time and how good it is to become an expert in something. So I really felt like I can take on this gym, but I didn't feel like I mastered the restaurant game yet. So It didn't feel honest as well towards the clients and towards myself to, be busy so long with one thing and then switch over suddenly to other things, because once your focus start to go all over the place, everything goes all over the place, and you cannot become really good in one thing. So and for that, I just kept hammering on restaurants. I actually got a dentist client later on and a gym client. I actually took them on, but it was always like my side business afterwards. I kept focusing on restaurants because the results that I was getting for restaurants were not where I wanted them to be. So it felt like, okay, if I gonna go another lane now, I will never come there. So for that reason, I just kept hammering on restaurants and getting more and more clients in that niche.
Mm-hmm. And when you were creating these packages at first, were you doing it based off their needs, or did you create something first and to that productized solution for them?
Yeah, that's a very good question as well, because in the beginning, like when I just started out, and I know everyone's going to laugh about this, but when I just started out, my idea was I'm going to charge 100, 150 euros and I'm going to do everything for it. And that was like my whole big idea, right? I was like, I'm going to get 1,000 clients like this. And well, after I gained about 15 of those clients, there was so much work. I was like, I have to do everything on my own. I can't even hire someone because I was not making any money. So that was like crazy. But later on, when I started to ask more and more money, of course, like, you can divide your stuff. So things are getting way better and way easier. Sorry, I completely lost the question for a second where I wanted to go. Sorry about that.
No worries. So when you created your packages.
Packages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in the beginning when I started with that, with the small packaging, I had like small, medium, large, and like I think it was like 75, 100, and 150 or something. So I kept doing that up until I met somebody in the bigger city on the island where I live, and he told me, guys, how can you do this? Like, how can you charge those prices? He was like charging 4 or 5K, and he was like doing high coaching, and I was like, nah, but it's impossible. I can never charge those prices. And then he told us like, but stop doing these pre-packages because, first of all, you're not positioning yourself as an expert, but as well, you're just offering something that is not really solving a big problem. And first, I couldn't get my head around it, but like how they say, how bigger the problem you solve, how more money you can earn. And by just doing social posts alone, without really value, just some pictures and some text, you cannot charge so much money. So he actually told us that day, he was like, guys, when do you have the next meeting? And we're like, 2 days from now. We're sitting down with this Greek place, quite a big restaurant. He was like, okay, when you go in, you're going to ask him 4,000 euro a month. And we're like, it's impossible. I could never even like get that out of my mouth, right? Like 4,000. I was like shaky and like totally new into it. So then we did it actually. So we sat down in the meeting and was like, it's 4,000. And I was like, okay. And he didn't even shock from it. So we were like, how's this possible, right? We didn't close him on that moment. He wanted to think about it. We never actually closed him, but it raised our standards that like, you see, there is a possibility there. Then when me and my team, I was together with a salesperson back then. We were working together. We decided like, okay, I think now every single meeting we're just going in, we're just going to talk with them. And then afterwards we will decide what happens. And once we did that, we understood like every single restaurant owner has different problems. So some of the owners were like, it's actually going very good of a lot of people, but the systems are not in place to get more clients, right? And we're like, but then we cannot help you. So we just walked out, and we could have sold him maybe a 100 euro a month package. It might be possible, but for the bigger packages, what we wanted to do back then, that wasn't possible. So to go back to that, what we then did is we always look at the restaurant owner, see what they need, and then offer something on that phase, having pre-packaging ready. And it works so much better because if you know exactly what they need, I always say the same with the dentist or doctor, right? Like you don't walk into the doctor's place and he's like, you need this, this, and that. He's first like, hey, where does it hurt? How much does it hurt? Okay, now I'm going to analyze it. Do you want to have it solved? Yeah, I want to get rid of the pain. Here it is, 2K. No problem. You will pay it easily. Purely because you are going to get rid of the pain. And that's what we found out after a while. But it wasn't in the beginning like that.
Yeah, and a great takeaway from that is just having different packages for different levels I know when I first started, I was just making things up as I went along. Everyone had a different need, like, oh, I need Instagram, or I need a Facebook group manager. So I was just assigning myself to all those things. But as you experience getting 15 plus clients, it's difficult to start hiring out those pieces without having the systems in place. So for anyone who's watching and is an agency owner kind of struggling with that, think about each stage of your client process, and then think about where you can create those packages so it's not just making up random numbers as you go along. So that's a great point right there, Kevin. Also, when you are creating these campaigns for your clients, do you feel that the process is kind of the same? So you have a questionnaire that you ask them, create the graphics and the campaigns for them?
Yeah, 100%. So actually, it's funny that because at one point, think about 4 months ago, when I restructured the whole agency and we decided to go a little bit a different route, like we stopped completely with like doing posts and doing review answering and all of that stuff, and we went focused fully only on Facebook ads. And right now we're actually having 4 programs in our agency. So I'm more looking for the right clients right now that I need or where I can work together, and then just offer them one of these 4 programs. To give you a quick idea, one program is a giveaway campaign where you always do contests, and usually that's my smallest sell. That's like my low ticket. Like I sell that first, and then I upsell them in different stuff. The other programs are a restaurant VIP program where we're building up a database with loyalty program points and all of that. The third one is an awareness program where we're focused on like awareness and where we're going to tell the story of the restaurant to the area. And as last, we do a birthday club, a VIP club, where we're collecting birthdays and sending them something special on their birthday, right? So we're basically actually working with packaging sort of right now, but we're not walking into the place like, hey, you need this, you need that. So we would usually like interview them, get to know them, see what fits to them, and then offer them one of these. And then have the price according to what we can deliver to them. And I think that is very important, because if I can make for a restaurant 10,000 euro in revenue each month, I could easily charge them 2K or 3K, right? But if I like typical now, I have a client on board that has an average bill of £4, or it's in England, so $5 or so. I'm not sure about the currency. But then I cannot charge these huge amounts because we brought 120 people in this month, but the average person spends $4. So there's not that much money coming in. About packaging, it's that. I'm completely lost again on the question. I'm sorry. I just keep rattling about different stuff.
Oh, no worries. We were talking about the different packages. So you're talking about your giveaway, IP.
Yeah. So the four things, I'm not sure exactly what you asked before. I just started rattling about this, but the 4 packaging, and I think that is very helpful, because now I know, that was what it was. In these 4 packages, I have created my system. So I know right now, okay, I'm getting on board a new client. I look at what he needs, and he's like, okay, he wants to push sales. So we're going to do a promotion type campaign for him. And everything is set up in a way that I know, okay, step 1 is this. They fill in the onboarding file. They fill all the questionnaire in that we're asking them. They give us access to the page and so on. Then the second start is the content creation part is going to start. So everything goes to the content creator. She creates everything. She writes and makes sure that everything is in order by picture and by text. She controls it with the client that we have. Everything gets directly brought to the builder that's building the messenger bot, that's setting up the ads, and then we're checking it, and then that person checks it as well. So I think you were asking if we have like a standard procedure for everything, right? So yes, we do have that, so that we have everything in steps. But I really recommend to pick a couple of campaigns, because for restaurants, especially for restaurants, the same stuff is working for multiple restaurants. So I can literally copy paste the stuff that I'm doing in my city here for a restaurant as a city in London or in England. I literally have the same ad copy. It's just changing the name and the things. It's the same messenger bots, just changing the name and the picture. So it's super easy. Like nowadays I could charge 1,000 euro and it will cost me a bit like 100 euros or 150 euros to process the whole thing, because it's already there. It's just copy paste work mostly now.
Yeah. And for people that are watching that are brand new, you didn't start off with this 4 packages.
No.
It's kind of like seeing how the customers reacting to it. But I think the core ones that you mentioned were, 2 giveaways, which is great, birthday campaigns, and loyalty attraction to the brand, kind of seeing that they're new in the neighborhood or they're staple of that neighborhood. So that's just a couple ideas for you guys watching. If you want to build your own packages as well. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, your client and the messenger bots. How is that working for you? I know that that's a really big boom in the industry using messenger bots. How's that working out?
Yeah, amazing. Like a couple of months ago, I joined somebody's program who's quite big in the restaurant world as well. And yeah, like my whole life changed after that, because messenger bots it's so amazing how automatic everything can go. It's like having, like, to give you an idea, when I started out after a while, when we got a lot of clients in and we're charging higher prices, we went to 20K actually. But what happened is that we spent about 18K of it on employees, on outsourcing, and on everything. So I kept 2,000 left. I was like, I'm doing something wrong, because I'm making a lot of money, but there's nothing left in the end of the month, right? Until I made the whole change, like, to messenger bots and stuff, because now I'm just actually with one colleague and a couple of outsourced things online. We're not doing the same money, a little bit less, but everything is automated. So for everyone that want to start with restaurants, like, I can't emphasize enough, like, how strong messenger bots are these days. Like, leave the landing pages alone, especially for restaurants. I'm not sure in other niches like how that is, but especially for restaurants, you just need one campaign that's driving people in a messenger bot. And yeah, we have set up these campaigns that you can really claim them, like the people can claim them in store. So people are literally walking with their phones in the restaurant, like, hey, I have this voucher, can I claim it? And they're like, yeah, you have to click on the button. They click on the button, they fill in the dollar amount, how much money they spent. Everything goes tracked to a Google sheet, and we have an overview in the end of the month for the owner as well. Like, hey, this month we made you 10,000. This month we made you 15. This month we made you that, so that you have track of that. So yeah, messenger bots for me is like insane. Like, can't emphasize enough that people have to start using it if they're not. Yeah, hope that answered.
Awesome. When you go to a new client and let's say they already signed up with you, how do you onboard them? That's a part where a lot of people get stuck. And before they even have those systems set up, it's just asking the right questions and getting the right information. So how does your process look like?
Yeah, for sure. So what we literally do is, on the moment the client says yes, we send them a contract, an agreement that they have to sign. We send that actually through PandaDoc. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's an easy system where you can set up everything as templates already as well. And we send it out, they sign it, they send it back. We then send them directly a onboarding file, and in an onboarding file, we're asking them for the Facebook page, we're asking them for the ad account and like all of that. And then we're asking them a bunch of questions based on their business. So like, what is the demographic of your audience? So basically like an audience research of how much they know of it. Then we have a bunch of questions there, like where do they live? What are the ages? What do they like? Which movies do they watch? Like stuff like that to understand their audience a bit better. And then we always plan in a 1-hour kickoff meeting. So on the moment the agreement is signed, so they say yes in the meeting, we want to do this, perfect, okay, I'm going to send you over an agreement, we're sending you over a questionnaire, we filled it in. Once it's filled in, we jump on a 1-hour kickoff meeting together with the project managers. He's jumping on it with them, and then in that meeting they're going to go through the form once, because usually the owners don't really know their audience. Like if you ask them, they're like, everyone comes here. It's like, okay, cool, it's nice, but yeah, I get it why they don't understand it, because they're not busy with it. So then she like walks them through that once more, so that we're sure that we have everything. Because restaurants are pretty simple to market actually, because you don't have so much differences. I mean, like everyone goes for dinner, and there's just depending, like if you're living in a very poor place or there's like ghettos around with poor people, yeah, then of course like try to exclude those. But for the rest, it's nearly just targeting everyone in the area. So that's quite simple, but always good to know in the text and everything that you write. But yeah, then we do the kickoff meeting, and depending on which program they're in. So if they're going into the awareness program, we need videos, we need photos. But if they're like in a promotion type program, so the restaurant VIP program that we have, we just need to know basically one offer, one picture, and that's it. So after that kickoff meeting, we can start to build, we can start to do our stuff. So yeah, for onboarding agreement, the invoice goes out together with the agreement so that they can pay. And the questionnaire goes out with questions, then the 1 hour kickoff meeting. And then we can start our work. So hope that answers it a little bit and it's clear.
Definitely. For those giveaways or those promotional pieces, what do you feel is like a regular type of promo that they do, like a free appetizer, free drink menu, or how does that look like?
Yeah, so for the giveaways, and with giveaway, I really mean a contest so that people can opt in. We try always to do like a very big giveaway. So like 6 months free or 1 year free. So if it's a pizza place, we will do like 1 year free pizza. If it's a sushi place, 1 year free sushi. Everybody comments, everyone clicks and gets into the messenger bot like that. But when we do a direct promotion, I love to use like 2 for 1. I know it's like BOGO, you say in America, I think. You're from America, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Or no? Okay, cool. Just to be sure. So yeah, BOGOs work very well, but we did free starters, free desserts. But I do notice that 2 for 1 are like insanely working good because they're always bringing somebody in. Usually they're bringing multiple people in so they can spend more money. Yeah, I think 2 for 1 is by far the best what I've ever seen. We've done a bit of testing with free starter, free dessert. They work well, but not as good as 2 for 1. And then depending on the place, I really like to look at the restaurant and see what their specialty is as well. Because for now, for example, we have a tapas place that offers menus of tapas. And then we try to do something with that. Instead of a free tapa or a free starter, we try to do something with the menu. But yeah, of course, it's a little bit depending on the place, what works as well. And mostly the owners actually know quite well what works for the restaurant. So we're like, which type of promotions do you do? Or like, which have you done, right? And usually they're like, we've done a free drink or free starter. And if they have something that worked very well, and usually they've done it with printed coupons or they've done it with, just a mention on Facebook, then you just have to translate it to digital. I really love that. Like if something works very well, like for example, Subway or McDonald's or like these places, they do huge promotions always. Like if they would just translate those promotions into Facebook campaigns and messenger bots, they will work like insanely well because they already tested on the audience as well. So.
Awesome. And then also when you create these packages, how long do you make them for? Like I've seen, month by month people do them, or it's a 3 month, 6 month commitment. How do you structure your packages? Yeah,
what I do is I always do a 12-month contract, but I do a month-to-month 30-day notice cancellation policy. How do you say that? Like they could cancel always with 30-day notice. Because I just love it. Like in the beginning, I always done 30 days, just like that, like month to month. But in one way or another, like they were like, can we have a break this month? Like, we're in the middle of everything. Like we've built the bots and the subscribers are coming in every day. Can I just stop, right? And now we've eliminated that and we said 12 months, but you can also just stop. Actually, it's not happening anymore. I think it's a mindset as well that they feel like, we're going for 12 months, right? Mm-hmm. But what I actually do, and this works insanely well for me, and I recommend this for everyone that's just starting out, is to have something for restaurants. Because I don't know if you ever pitched a restaurant, but restaurant owners are usually, the margins are pretty low, and like they find it difficult to put down €1,000 or $1,000 in once if they don't know you that well, right? So unless you really know the guy very well, it's easy. But what I did notice is that if you start with something small, so what I literally do is if I get a client on a conversation, I interview them, get to know them, get a connection, build rapport, search for a problem. If they have the problem, offer them a solution. And the first thing I always sell, or like nearly 90% of the time, I sell a giveaway, a contest. And what I do with it is I say, hey, we're going to run this one campaign. It's a one-time fee. Only one time you pay an X amount. Usually I sell them pretty cheap because I really want to get them in the door. So I say like $400 and it's included with ad spend. And what I will do is I advertise about $100 of that $400 into ads, and I will run this giveaway. But what will happen is, if you ever run a giveaway, the giveaways explode. Like they completely go viral always. You get hundreds of comments, if not sometimes thousands, likes, shares. Like it totally explodes. Like the messenger bot explodes their telephone as well. So the owners are always like, what's happening with my phone? You know, it's like it keeps ringing, all those notifications. And afterwards, it's so easy because the month, like after I do that, then for like 15, 16 days, I run this contest. And then I set it up automatically that after those 16 days, we do a one-time redeemable voucher for 14 days. So we're running the giveaway actually for 1 month. So 16 days giveaway, and then 2 weeks of one-time redeemable voucher for all the losers, or like the non-winners. So everybody that, I don't like the word losers, but everyone that didn't win, they get a one-time voucher. And what is cool is that after those 30 days, the owners are always like, this was amazing. Like, how can we continue this? What can we do now? You know, it's like, and why I do it like that is because it's so easy for them to commit to a one-time fee. Like they're like, no problem at all. On the moment you say 400 monthly, but you can stop every month, they're like, oh, that's too much. That's about 5,000 a year. But if you say it's one time 400, they're like, oh, of course, no problem. They throw that against radio and everything every now and then. So
Flyers.
Once they've done it, they experienced it, and then it's like, okay, so what's the next step? And then you're like, okay, look, now we can go into a monthly recurring packages where we do this or we do this, and then we advise them what will be best for their restaurant.
That's a great outlook on that, because I know a lot of people get stuck on, these people can't afford it, so I can't really market to them, but you're doing a fantastic job in scaling just on restaurants, so that's amazing. So I know there's a lot of questions for the replay viewers, so if people want to learn about what you do, where can they find you?
Yeah, for sure. They can either text me directly or they can follow up in the group as well that I have, so the Digital Marketing for Restaurant group, or message me personally as well. I would love to help. I know exactly how it is when you're just getting started out as well. It was like so nerve-wracking, and there's so much questions that you have constantly and insecurity. And I'm such a big believer that if you have somebody that already done it, it's so easy to just follow those person's footsteps as well. So personally or on my Facebook group as well.
And before we wrap up, is there any one piece of advice that you'd like to give to the viewers that are watching?
I have so much stuff, but I think the most important thing, at least what was working for me great, is just to take action without thinking too much and just drop all the things that are not perfect. Like I started out with €100 packages. If I would have listened to everyone, then I wouldn't have done it as well in the beginning, and I think that a lot of people get stuck on like, I need to charge, because you see it everywhere online. You need at least 1.5K, 2K or 3K. You need at least that. But that's what scares off a lot of people as well. Like, how can I charge that in the beginning, right? So I always feel like just get started where you feel comfortable with. And Gary Vee says this a lot, but like audit yourself. Like look where you are at this stage. Like don't pretend like you're this great marketer if you're not, right? Like if you're just starting out and you go to a restaurant owner and you say, hey, I've been marketing for 4 years and I'm amazing, and he's gonna feel that. So if you're just starting out and you're really nervous, even in your first conversation, if I will do it over, I will literally say, hey, this is my first conversation. I'm freaking nervous to speak with you. And I will just open up, because that person will feel it. If you do that with enough people, there's one restaurant owner gonna be in between that says, I love it that you're so honest with me. Let's do something together, So be yourself and just take action. I think that is the my biggest advice right now.
Awesome. So super happy that you joined us today, Kevin. I will leave his group down in the section below in the description, so you could follow up and join the group to learn more about restaurant tips. And super happy that you joined us today.
Thank you so much for having me, and keep up the good work. I think what you're doing is awesome as well. It's great. Thank you.
And, everyone, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
See you. Bye-bye.